What's up, Legion? This is Steve Zapf here with I Still Call It a Lariat. I am here, as always, covering NXT and AEW with my boy Hound Dog. How you doing today, Hound?
Hey, Steve. How are you, man? Unfortunately, a little under the weather. I think I've got the forever winter cold happening right now, but we'll see. But yeah, excited to talk a little bit of wrestling. You feel just at 70% every day, and you're like, ugh. Just come on already. So my already radio voice will sometimes be a little bit raspier. So anybody looking to have me read a commercial, I'm your guy.
I like the rasp. You're starting to sound like Moxley. Hey, man.
Moxley wishes he sounded like me.
Moxley does wish he sounded like you. Instead, he sounds like this. I'm going to do death jitsu.
Yeah. It's all fit. It's for the greater good. I am the new paradigm. Moxley, would you shut up? Oh, good Lord.
I don't know what I'm saying.
He doesn't, but I'm intrigued with it though, man. I've got some faith that they're going to pull something with this.
I'm getting more and more interested in it. I'd like to see where they go with it. Real quick, before we get into the wrestling talk, as always, let's talk about our nonprofit organizations that we support. First, Tap Cancer Out. Series of jiu-jitsu tournaments that helps out with Alex's Lemonade Stand, American Brain Tumor Association, Isabel Santos Foundation, Little Pink Houses of Hope, Camp Sunshine, Christopher's Haven, Sidney Kimmel Comprehensive Cancer Center at Johns Hopkins, GeorgeCervicalCancer.org, First Descent, and of course, Tom Coughlin's J Fund.
Fun.
It might sound better with the rasp. I think it sounds a little better with the rasp.
That is fun to say, though. The J Fun.
All right. The other one that we will have a link to in our description, of course, is the American Red Cross, which is helping out with Hurricane Helene and Hurricane Milton relief, varying hurricanes. I'm sure if another one still happens to hit this year, they will be helping out with that as well. But as we've said in the past couple weeks, a lot of these people are just kind of left destitute and with nothing and just no houses, no clothes, just lives underwater in what looks like a war zone, which, like we said, guys, if you can't help with money, help with something. Send jackets that you don't wear anymore. Send food, send stuff like that, and if it's even a little bit of money is better than nothing for some of these people because it gives them a chance. And I happened to record this past week with Mr. Brock, formerly of Coal Mine. Now he's starting his new podcast called the Twin Cities Double Up. And little side story is that Mr. Brock actually had his house burned down a couple of years ago, and the American Red Cross came out and really, really helped him out. So this is one of those situations where these are organizations that truly help out with people helping people, which at the end of the day, that's what we're really trying to support with these nonprofits.
100%. And folks, don't be afraid to speak to some of your superiors at work. You'd be amazed at how many people have the heart to give and are willing to, but aren't actively looking for it. So it's one of those things where if you're not looking for it, you won't see it kind of thing. And we're all lost in our own little world anyway. But you'd be amazed, mentioning things at work, how quickly you can get something started. And you never know. You could be the spark that lights a fire that's been sitting in somebody for a long time they didn't know. And I'm okay with if I was a person that touched the person that helped change the world. I'm okay if it wasn't me who did it. But you never know. One spark could be the fire.
And kind of how you said, if you talk to one person, then all of a sudden it could be a situation where everyone at work gives a little bit. And if you work with 50 people and everyone gives $2, it's $100 to the organization.
I'm glad you did the math there because I was way off.
It was a little rough for a second.
I was like,
see that the math was mathing.
Yeah, very much was at to carry the 7. Oh God, here we go again.
That just proves that you're not feeling well because you usually are pretty good with math.
Listen, I knew the answer was 400. It's okay. We're good.
Yes, exactly.
Exactly. Right. Don't you question me on it, damn it.
I won't, but only because you don't feel well. But I might still find a way to get you in a room with Takeshita.
Listen, I'm no selling as long as he's not there.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, he'll be in the room with me. I am ignoring him. It's one of those things. Like, I believe he has T-Rex vision. I'll just stand still and I won't get hit. We'll be fine. Just it could be very difficult because I make him look like a little human. So it would. Gosh, now that I'm thinking about it, the visual of all of that happening is hilarious. We need to make this happen.
I want it to happen now. Legion, if somehow you know who Takeshita is, in the comments below, please just give it to us.
I mentioned this on one of the things we recorded last. I 100% will let him reenact his sprint over the hurdles into the running big boot kick. I'll take it. It would be hilarious.
Man! All right, let's get to some wrestling news. So, big news coming out of NXT. They are going to be doing a show at the old ECW arena, the 2300 arena, if you will. This is big, not just because of where they're doing it, but because of the day that they are doing it. This is a Wednesday ECW NXT episode. That means that for this time, NXT is going on to AEW's day. And we are going to see whether or not NXT, I'm sorry, I keep reading ECW, whether or not NXT does better against AEW straight up than AEW's been doing against NXT straight up on their days.
I think that's just a given at this point. NXT has a lot of momentum, and while AEW's getting some momentum back, and I'm happy about that. But I mean, for the love of God, you're also mentioning the ECW arena. You'll have folks tune in to that just because of nostalgia. I mean, I know I never went to the ECW arena with you to a show, but I can think of at least 15 that I attended there. And I was there when the Sandman came back that first time. So it was definitely pretty cool. I believe, and this is us talking about friends we have outside of this, but Jeannie and Eddie O, we were watching it, and there's a quick shot through the crowd, and you see my face and then the Sandman over there, and I quickly got out of the way. It's like, nobody look at me.
Can't see me. I also think that this is going to do better, not just because NXT has a ton of momentum. This is happening in a few weeks, and they're already promoting it. They're already talking about it. They're talking about it like it's going to be a huge show, because it should be a huge show. This is one of those things where I feel like when AEW did their, was it the Battle of the Belts or whatever it was on Tuesday, Title Tuesday, that's what it was. Sorry, they have a lot of names. But when they did Title Tuesday, it felt like it was the Wednesday before, and they're like, "Hey, remember next week we're going to be on Tuesday because of baseball." Oh, okay, man. Like, you kind of knew this was happening 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Well, also don't forget you've got the marketing machine of WWE behind NXT, and with you saying all of that, with the time to prepare, big thing. Don't forget NXT's working hand in glove with TNA, who's got the Tommy Dreamers and got some folks who are associated with that. So it would be pretty cool. I think we're going to see some classic ECW faces. Hopefully not anybody diving off a balcony at the ripe young age of 60, which I think they all are at this point. Like, let's not shatter a hip tonight, boys.
We're gonna see all the gores, and no one's gonna kick out.
That's how you know it's a gore and not a spear.
The other, Jesus Christ. The other thing I want to talk about. So we touched on this during the last episode I did with Mike, was that Samantha Irvin has exited WWE. She's been replaced by the returning Lillian Garcia. here is a little bit of my issue. There's been a lot of stuff going through on social media with this now, where Samantha Irvin said part of the reason why she left. It started all. It feels like the story keeps changing a little bit, and I wouldn't normally go into it too much, but because the story keeps changing, it seems like something we now need to talk about a little bit. It started that she was leaving to pursue her musical career. Then it was obviously everyone having the assumption she was leaving to go to AEW. If she goes to AEW, I don't really care. I'm not complaining about her doing what she thinks is best for her. The thing is, though, is she then made a pretty long post about not being happy in her station in life with WWE, saying that she didn't really like commentating or announcing, and that she wanted to do something else. And I hate to say, because I don't know if she, again, the written word, the virtual word, if you will, via Twitter or Instagram or whatever it is that you're using. I'm sorry, X, it's not Twitter anymore. No, it's still twitter.com. It's one of those things where sometimes maybe tone of voice is left out, and you don't, we talk about that a lot, where if you don't verbally say it, sometimes you lose it. And maybe she didn't mean it the way it came off, but it came off as, I'm bashing the company I just left now that I'm gone. And a lot of people called her out on that. And I know she's answered back saying that she loves the WWE, but I hate to say it, but it came off as like almost all everything to the contrary, that your man left, he wasn't happy, you left, you weren't happy. It just seems like, and I'm not saying that she did anything unprofessional, so let me just point that out. It just seems like there's been a lot of different versions of this story to go around. I do hope that she has an amazing career in whatever it is that she does post WWE. I love Samantha Irvin. I think she did an epic job as an announcer. I think sometimes, even if it's not what you wanted to do, sometimes you find your calling, and I think that might have been one of those situations.
I see everybody's point with that, and the take I had from it wasn't so. I could see where people like it comes off like she was bashing things, and again, I haven't read a ton of Samantha Irvin posts to say, okay, this is
usually the picture posts.
Yeah, it's like where you can pick up a pattern where you can tell if somebody has been like hinting between the lines in everything you're reading, and you can feel the groundswell of resentment, if you will. I wonder if this was somebody just kind of speaking off the cuff, and again, perfectly saying to where if you don't hear somebody say it, me saying to you, we could be arguing about something and then ultimately diffuse. I'm like, hey man, but you have a great day. If we're arguing via text and it's just like, have a great day, you could read that. But what the hell does he mean by have a great day? I'll tell him to have a great day. Like I could see this completely going off the rails there because of something like that. She also, it seems like she wanted to do more, but she's not a proven commodity outside of the ring announcing thing. And look, if she's pursuing some singing, I have full faith in that she would be a phenomenal singer. Now, would she garner fame doing it? Maybe, maybe not. I hope she does. I hope every day for her is better than the previous. But, I mean, it sucks. I was a big Samantha Irvin fan, but, not going to lose sleep over it.
Yeah, I agree. And like I said, most of her stuff that she's posted before this was, not to sound too sexist, but it was physical stuff. It was pictures. It was, Samantha Irvin has broken the internet a few times, which good for her. But, and like you said, I wish her the best. I hope she does amazing in whatever she does. I hope she is the next Beyonce, the next Whitney, whatever it is, if that is the path that she goes. And if she ends up in AEW at, maybe they do give her a shot as a manager or something along those lines. Maybe she can start talking for her boyfriend.
Please don't let him. I believe they're married now, actually.
I think they are affianced.
I could have. Ooh, I like how you did that. I see what you did there. It was I'm a fan of that. But
Betrothed.
I do believe that I do believe I'd read somewhere that they are in fact married now. But if not, listen, just God bless both of you. Just Ricochet, don't talk.
Stop it. All right.
You flip and do things where we go, wow, I wish I looked like you, could move like you, was as talented as you. And then let your stunning fiance / wife do all the speaking because her voice is a gift from God. So together, yes, both of you make up a dream of everything in one person. So I'm glad that total package came together. I wonder what their spawn will be like.
I was going to say someday their offspring will come out and they're going to be the perfect on-screen talent. It's going to be the most perfect on-screen talent ever.
Except it'll only be 5'3". There will always be something.
All right, so let's move on to WWE NXT. This was done at the Performance Center again. I think I know they are starting to hit the road a little bit more. As we said, they're going to be at the ECW arena. I'm sorry, the 2300 arena. It's no longer the ECW arena. It's still the ECW arena. But they are starting to move around a bit more. But I do like that kind of while they were gone, they gave the Performance Center a facelift and let it look kind of a little bit cooler. It looks a little bit more edgier than it did right before they kind of rebranded with the silver and everything. So I like that. This is the go home show before we get Halloween Havoc. So there are a lot of things going on with this show all around. There's a lot of stuff that they need to make sure that they get in, although a lot of it is still very safe because that's kind of how the WWE in general does it, is they want to make sure that their PLEs are still protected as far as the talent goes. The very first match that we open with is going to be Damage Control, consisting of Io Sky and Kairi Sane versus Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson. I love both these members of Damage Control. I love Damage Control in general. I have not been impressed with Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson in the past few weeks at all. I know I harp on this a little bit, but they're essentially Diet Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill.
Yeah, you're not wrong there. And the two ladies, Io and Kairi, they're phenomenal. They've been phenomenal everywhere they went. And actually, funny enough, my daughter and I were talking about music today, and she mentioned the artist Poppy. And I was like, Poppy used to play Io Sky out to the ring back in her NXT days. And she was like, oh my gosh, really? Like, just trying to find commonality with a 16-year-old when you're in your 40s. It's weird. But
good for you, buddy.
Yeah, I'm doing dad stuff. But you hit the nail on the head with the Diet Coke version of Bianca and Jade. And they keep showing Bianca and Jade's reactions to them. I believe both Lash and, I'm going to butcher her name, Jakari. Did I say that right?
Jakara Jackson.
Jakara. They have a lot of potential, but I'm not going to bag on them because, again, they're both fairly new. They don't have a ton of, at least they might have a ton of time between the ropes, but maybe not a ton of time between the ropes on camera. Big difference. So I will say, going in there with those two members from Damage Control, you are swimming in the deep end, because whether you want it or not, they're going to get something out of you. And, kicking and screaming and bloody if necessary, they're going to get a match out of you. So
necessary.
It is always necessary. So I'd say, while not being impressed, they held their own enough-ish to give me hope that this isn't something where we're going to see them main roster bound within the next 18 months, but maybe 36 months. And that might be enough time to let everything simmer and cook and let all the seasonings come together. And then hopefully, voila,
Sauce.
Wonderful sauce.
So I have it written down here. I actually pinpointed what it is about how they work that I think leaves me unimpressed. And I had to figure out the right verbiage to use it. And the only way I could write it was that they're timid. They are so afraid to make a mistake that they end up making mistakes.
I'm so glad you said that way, because there was something like nagging at me while watching it, and that I think that better encompasses what I was seeing, because they did look very rigid, very not in the moment, almost okay. Here we are. Here's this spot. Oh, crap. Here's the next 3 things we have to do when we haven't even started the process to push to those next 3 things. So I maybe their mind's a little bit ahead of where they were. And again, I think that comes back to inexperience.
And I agree. That goes the timid, the inexperienced. I think it all goes together. But even Lash went to throw a clothesline, and you could see she was not throwing a clothesline near her. Like she's a tall woman. I'm not saying she's a big woman. I'm not saying anything like that. But she is a tall lady. And she went to throw that clothesline on one of the members of Damage Control, who are not tall women. And it was nowhere near them. Like, she threw it high. If she was throwing it against someone like her, like, it would still have been over her head. And I was like, you got to throw it, girl. You got to throw it. If they get hit with it, that's on them.
Yeah, there very much is and again, and that comes with time too, because I remember when I first started, I was very nervous and was trying to make sure that I wouldn't connect if somebody was supposed to get out of the way. And then it did get to a point where it was like, they were like, oh, I didn't get out of the way fast enough and you damn near took my head off. Well, get out of the way fast enough next time. Like,
it's coming.
So, and again, I'd beating a dead horse here, but I'm hopeful that if we give them some time to lab with everything, I don't think we're going to ever see either of them as main roster like standouts, but I believe they'll get there in the end and, have whatever their run will be. And who knows, maybe we'll be pleasantly surprised, because we've all seen it happen where all of a sudden somebody just gets it. And you never know. If they're there, somebody behind the scenes who's more talented than us sees something.
So, something I was pleasantly surprised with this match. It looks like we might finally be getting a push for Piper Niven and Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green! I'm happy about this. If you're going to give Chelsea Green more airtime, yeah, I'm happy about that. And Piper Niven, I think she might be my favorite, like, monster woman on the WWE roster right now.
When you were talking about that, I had this weird, and I wonder if anybody has said this before. Chelsea Green might be onto something where she might be the women's division's R-Truth.
She might be. Oh my god! Oh right? My god! And it explains so much because Showtime loves her.
Yeah, I mean
Oh my god!
Right? That's why I was sitting there. I was like,
you broke my brain, bro. It's totally true.
Yeah, she's she's somebody who it's like, I know the folks listening, some of you may know us, but those who don't, when I say this to Steve, it won't necessarily mean anything to you, but she's every one of our dumbass friends.
Yeah.
So right there, already, like, my favorite human on the planet. Don't even know her and can't stand her already, but love her.
Oh man. But I like I said, I'm really happy that they kind of left the ring with Piper and Chelsea standing tall over everybody. So we move on from that. We get we started off hot with, I mean, I say hot. We started off with quite a few things involving the women's division in this, because we got that, and then we moved on and we got Jada Parker versus Tatum Paxley. I have written here, I haven't had much experience with Tatum Paxley, realistically. I know she has wrestled a few matches since you and I have been covering this stuff, but before that, I wasn't paying a whole lot of attention to her, and that's on me. That's my I wasn't doing my job in this case, but she's really good, like really good,
Yeah.
like really really good, like I was very impressed. How I have it here is, for those of you who don't know, Paxley was the closest thing that we're gonna. She's the babyface in this match, and as the babyface, she was leading the match. That's hard to do. It's hard to lead a match as a babyface. You know as well as I do, because you're getting your ass kicked most of the time.
Yeah, it's always fun, you know, when we were doing time in the ring. It's always fun to be the triumphant face in the end. But every time I had to be the face, I always walked into the back just limping a little bit. Somebody did have to stick a few in the ribs a little bit too far, which is fine. With Tatum Paxley, huge upside for her. And like you said, I don't think it was necessarily that we weren't paying attention. There was nothing to write home about. It, like I'll use the phrase, it was a match. Like, not bad, not good. It filled the 6 to 9 minutes it needed to fill, kind of thing. I'm excited because I'm noticing it seems like she's almost skipping steps in how good she's getting. And I'm excited to see how quickly that is, and again, we've been talking about it between, you've got Roxanne Perez and then Cora Jade and Stephanie Vaquer and Julia and everybody like that. And now you're getting other people who are stepping up their game. I'm real excited, and especially since we're going to have a lot of young talent, we might be looking at stuff when we do actually become old men, where we're talking about Woman A and Woman B are having their 6th time that they've met at WrestleMania for this, and that's really cool to think about.
Exactly. I mean, look, we're saying that we're saying I'm impressed with Tatum Paxley. We've been saying that we're impressed with Ren Sinclair. Ren Sinclair has me kind of the most excited out of the NXT women's division. Don't get me wrong, I love Kaylani Jordan. I think she is a phenom. I think Ren Sinclair is going to do some great things just on her own, especially with that being with the group that she's with. I like her being with the No Quarter Catch Club. Speaking of No Quarter Catch Club, we get Lexis King coming out and thanking Charlie Dempsey for the rules of the match that they had last week with him and I can't remember his name now. Menza. Or Menza, that's his name. And then he asked him to if he can challenge him for the NXT Heritage Cup. So we're going to get the son of Brian Pillman against the son of William Regal in a wrestling match. I'm actually completely fine with this.
Yeah, it's good Lord. For folks listening, William Regal's in my top 10 wrestlers of all time. And his Aura Mensa, and then you've got Lexis King, who, thank goodness he got away from AEW. It's not an AEW bash right there. It's he was lost there. And he got put into too many situations where promos buried him a little bit too far, where it was really going to be tough to uncover, how far he got buried. He has a tremendous upside. And I'm liking that they're not rushing the process. Like, let him get his feet wet. Let him explore it. I've been getting the sense that they're kind of allowing him to be him and figure out who the hell he's going to be, which is, I think that's the thing I'm enjoying most about all of it is I know for a fact Triple H is a better wrestling mind than any of us, but I think
I will
I think
totally
he's hit.
outbook him.
Yeah.
You will know so Takeshita. I will absolutely outright Triple H.
I
won't.
Listen, I believe in you a little bit. No, where I was going with this, it seems like as Triple H is getting older, he's kind of being like, all right, kids, I'm going to let you do your thing a little bit more. And it's really cool to see. And it's like we're watching Triple H become a grandpa. And he's like, I'll let the kids play. And it's going to be cool.
I agree with that, but it's also one of those, like, in the most grandpa way, when something doesn't go right, it's like, all right, listen here, idiot.
Yep.
It's what is it? It's like Red Foreman from that 70s show. It's like, come here, dumbass.
Yeah, I want a hot mic of Triple H saying to somebody and him calling him an idiot. That's all I need that in my life now. Like, shaking his fist angrily, and then being like, but I loves you.
Smacks him in the back of the head real quick.
Oh my gosh, dude. The most meaningful smacks in the back of the head I ever got were always from older uncles or a grandpa, or just shithead. It's like,
dummy.
Yeah.
You jerk. Oh man.
I love it.
Right, we get a little vignette from involving Julia and Stephanie McCurk. I really, really like this vignette. The way they structured it and the way they did it, I felt that it hid the language barrier a little bit. I know it was done with subtitles and they were still speaking, but I like that it didn't take away from it, that I had to sit there and read the conversation, because it was like they were also moving the subtitles in the proper speed where I could like read it as they were saying the words. So it felt like I was actually understanding what they were saying.
Yeah, and we were talking about this over the last couple of shows, and they may very well have kind of unlocked a, air quotes, cheat code, if you will, for themselves with this, because some folks, English is a hard language to learn. It is a demand. I mean, two and two, there, and there. That's all I got to say about the English language.
And everything we do is backwards.
A little bit. I will give you that, but I won't keep. I'm not losing my freedom units. I'm not going over to friggin' metric. Freedom units always, but but they might. And this could also be, both you and I have watched shows that were subtitled most of our lives anyway, so it's, for us, it's second nature. But it did feel more natural. It didn't. I guess I'm struggling to get to saying it felt right.
It like you said, I just like the way they set it up. The just everything about it felt right. And whether that's on Triple H or that's on Shawn Michaels, or if that's on someone else sitting back there,
possibly CM Punk.
Yeah, whoever did it, whoever was in charge of that, like, good job, guys. Like, guys, I say guys as a unisex guys, by the way. If it was a woman who came up with it, good job to you as well, miss. Learn not to say ma'am anymore. It's weird. So, yeah, right.
I don't want to live in this world anymore.
No, we live in this world. It's just here all the time.
Oh, good Lord, yeah.
So, we get, before we get to the match, basically the entire D'Angelo family is all sad, or they're all worried because Rizzo got jumped, and Luca Crucifino, I always forget his last name, I'm sorry, has to have a match with Olafemi. This was like an excuse for just Oba to just kill everybody except for Tony D'Angelo.
You can't have Oba come out and kill Tony right now.
No, well, they have the match. They still have, but this was the way of making sure that it's just going to be Oba and Tony. But I finally realized who Obafemi is, who they completely modeled his character after. I got it. You and I are both movie buffs to a point. Mm-hmm. And we're both nerd movie buffs. Like, we like comic book movies. Obafemi is M'Baku.
Yeah, you're not wrong.
He's completely... Like, it was one of those that when he came out... First of all, I love his entrance. The way his entrance is, it just makes it feel awesome. But then, like, how he does his dance afterwards and, like, the way he steps. I'm like, this MF is M'Baku. He's just sitting there like, we have to take technological advances from a child. Like
the only thing that's missing for me in this whole thing, because they did the whole Rocky thing, and maybe it's the fact that I am a guinea from the Northeast. I just want to see like little Italian movie references when something bad happens, like Tony D'Angelo be like, hey, they massacred my boy. Like, just stuff like that. Just, and it's only, I understand it's an audience of one, but I would give anything for it. And just, oh.
Listen, Rizzo does these amazing things with pasta. But she does go a little heavy on the garlic.
Or go back there, have them shaving the garlic, like God, what was that movie? Oh my gosh!
Or you just see Oba just destroy Stacks again, and you just hear Tony. All right, you knocked him down. Why don't you try knocking me down now?
Just like have fun with it.
I want all the Rocky V references.
My ring's outside.
You go outside, there's actually a ring out there.
What a coincidence. Who would have seen this coming? Oh my gosh.
Oh, you know what, man? This is the most fun I've had on the show in a while again. Like, I feel like we're back to that. I think we got our reset in and we're back to just having fun with this again. Oh, Jesus.
Listen, man, life was definitely lifing.
It was lifing.
Life. It's like the thing I sent to you earlier on one of our social media things, the meme of Vegeta going, why does he keep kicking me in the dick? And it just says life.
Yep. Oh, man. Jeez. Oh, Lord. All right. So we get Trick Williams and Ethan Page in ring face-off after Obafemi kills everybody. This is... And Ethan Page already cuts a good promo. This is probably the best promo I've seen him cut in the whole time he's been there. And to the point where I hate to say it, but it makes Trick look bad during it. Like, Trick came off a little JV in this.
And that goes back to what I said a bunch of shows back when we were talking about it. And I said, if you go back and you watch this, and again, it's not me harping on Trick. The dude has everything going for him, and he just needs more time. I don't think that he can't be champion. He clearly is a two-time champion. They believe in him, and I believe in him too. But somebody like Ethan Page is main roster feuding with LA Knight ready.
Oh yeah, right now.
Trick Williams is not. And that's what we're seeing right there. There's levels to this, and though Trick Williams is likely going to come out the other side of this still with the title, I think this is Ethan Page's send-off. I think the powers that be see it.
And I would much rather see Ethan Page versus LA Knight than kind of what we're seeing with LA Knight on the main roster right now. I mean, and realistically, I'm not saying that he is there yet, but it's not far-fetched to think we could see Ethan Page and Cody in, like, because they have a relationship, but like you could have them really go at it. Kind of how you just said it though. This promo really showed the difference in their experience levels.
Yeah, Trick Williams' game is elevating, which is good, which is what he needs. But it's one of those things where think about somebody who cuts let's say if we're going to go the letter grade, somebody who cuts between a B and a B plus promo consistently. And then you get a CM Punk, you get a Cody, you get a Roman. That consistent BB plus, which lands you on honor roll, just got outshined by the damn valedictorian because he said a word with 9 syllables and used 12 prepositions because he was an overachiever.
At Harvard, we don't end our sentences with prepositions. Sorry, that's an old movie reference. But like you said, I think Trick Williams has everything, and the level and the growth that he has, it's at an exponential rate right now. Like, he is growing faster than anyone else could be. Even his look is different than when he first showed up. It's perfect for where he's at. He has the perfect amount of size. He has all the things you can't teach. Now he just needs the things that you can teach.
And you can't teach that. Soft.
Wrong NXT superstar.
Oh, right. Sorry. 7 feet
Trick
tall.
Williams. Trick played in Philadelphia. The guy you're quoting is from New Jersey.
Right. So that's why he's one of us, one of those jerk-offs.
Yes. Oh, all right. So we get Sol Ruka versus Carmen Petrovich. I've liked Sol Ruka for a while. I think she's very different. I think her being different is helping and hurting her at the same time, if that makes sense.
It does.
They know they need to keep her because she has something. Again, she has it. People like her. But they don't fully know what to do with her. So because she's different.
She's the first superstar I've seen in a while who is an acquired taste. And that's maybe not the best way to put it, but I can't think of another way I would want to say it, where it's good. And it's not even that it's good in like small doses. She is unique. It's the she's like a unique okay, she's like a hidden menu item at a place. There you go. And as more people get to know it, and that's why. So the first time you see something, think about the first time you hear a song, and you're like, oh, and then it gets to you. Like the song that they used for Bash in Berlin, Electric Callboy and Baby Metal doing ra-ta-ta-ta-ta. At first I was like, oh, this is fun. Now it's on every morning as I'm going to work, and I'm all head bopping and doing 90 down 295.
Oh man. So my thing with her is I think she's like I said, they know they need to keep her because what she does gets over, and it's so different that you can't send her somewhere else. Like, you can't give her the opportunity to go get hit big somewhere else. So I think what they're doing, I think she's one match, one storyline away from all of a sudden ascending to where she should be. Like I said, I don't even know if it's a real storyline. It might just be a match. Like, hey, she had this match with blah, blah, blah.
Oh, and when you were saying that, this is the thought that came to mind. We use the phrasing, you got to catch lightning in a bottle. She's the lightning. She just needs somebody has to be the bottle to catch it. And that's all it is. So it is going to be finding the right opponent. My initial first thought to get her through that is Bayley.
I could see that. I could
It
see
makes
Bailey.
sense.
I could see Bailey. I mean, there's so many talented women that she could go in there with, and she's kind of a power lifter. So like, she is strong enough and athletic enough to do so much stuff. And the Soul Snatcher, other than the UFO cutter, the Soul Snatcher it might be my other favorite finisher right now. And it's funny because they're both technically cutters, but they're so not cutters.
Yeah. It's the first time I saw her do that, I was like, well, fine. How did you do, you lady? I'm offended by the fact that was that good, kind of thing. But yeah, I wonder who it is, though. And that's the thing. I don't see a superstar on the NXT roster as the person that can help her do that right now. And that's why I initially went to Bailey. It has nothing to do with the fact that I love Bailey, but has everything
he
to do.
Does love Bailey.
I do love Bailey a little bit. But I think Bailey she's not like the gatekeeper, if you will, but I think she, out of everybody else, like, you put her in there with the Charlotte Flair type, sure, the athleticism and everything else, I don't think it works right now. I think you get to that point to get Sol Ruka past whatever this thing is, and I guess the forest from the trees, kind of getting outside the trees right now. I think Bailey's the right one for the job, because it's not Bianca, it's not Jade. I don't see it out of Stephanie Vaquer. I don't see it out of Julia. I don't see it out of Roxanne. Not that any of them can't do it. I think they would have incredible matches, but that moment that we're talking about, the
I think
Sasha Banks and Bailey thing we saw in Brooklyn, that's what we're talking about.
I think the woman that, see how you're saying it's Bailey and how it's not the other girls. Here's the thing is, I think those other girls, the Roxannes, the Stephanie Vaquers, the Rheas, the Charlottes, all of those people that you talked about are who she ends up ascending to fighting afterwards.
That's exactly what I'm getting to.
You need that first hit.
Mm-hmm.
You need that first thing that goes, oh, she is as good as we said she was.
Yeah.
And then from there, you put her in there with Roxanne and have them have a program. And then you have her in there with blah, 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 and have them have a program. And who knows? Like, kind of how we say in a couple of years, this is one of those ones where I don't want to bury the lead on it, but in a couple of years, if you catch that lightning in the bottle right now, 2 years from now, 3 years from now, we're having Rhea versus Sol Ruka.
Yeah.
At Mania.
Yep.
Like, when I say we're having that, I don't just mean we're having that match. We could have that match whenever. I mean, we're going to have that match at Mania. Like, that's how good I think she is.
Yeah.
Also, all this entire match is all over Ashante the Adonis. Really? This is... I preferred it when we were watching people fight over a bracelet and a necklace. I'm just saying.
Oh, good Lord.
We get a little bit of a backstage thing with Nikita Lyons, and is she the one that attacked Rizzo? Is she gonna be a heel now? Like, she just came back, and they're gonna maybe she comes off a little bit more natural heel to begin with, but usually having a returning superstar, you kind of have to have them be face.
Maybe. I don't know. Nikita Lyons is very talented. Not really my cup of tea, so I tend not to pay super close attention when she's on there. But you might be onto something. May very well be the person who attacked Rizzo.
I think that's what they're trying to sell it on, especially with like the talking with her and Oba afterwards. We get Hank and Tank versus OTM, which is Out the Mud. Just in case anyone doesn't know who they are, because they haven't been on television for a little bit. First of all, I like Hank and Tank. I really like Tank. He is a friend of mine, and I appreciate that he is having a great time.
I am a fan of Hank and Tank. every man to me.
That's exactly what they are. This is I have it written. This was actually a nice little match. I didn't expect this to be as good as it was. Oh, there's the avocado.
Yep.
There it is.
My cat has made her appearance. That's what's been going on for the last 5 minutes. I've been muting myself because she's been at my feet just crying.
Oh, there we go. We oh, that's nice. So,
hello, baby.
I know that this match ended up turning into being more about furthering the Lola Vice Jada Parker feud, but this was kind of a fun segment all around. Like, everything that they did in this match was fun. Like, and sometimes I want to just kind of turn off my brain and just have a fun match. And this was that. This was just a nice little fun match just before the main event. So you get a little bit of a lull, but it's still a good time. And then we go into the star power. We get Stephanie McGuinness and Julia versus Fatal Influence, consisting of Fallon Henley and JC Jane. I still feel like if anyone in that group is ready for the main roster, it's Fallon Henley. I just don't see it from JC Jane. I think JC Jane is a group act, unfortunately. She is someone who is stuck in a stable of some sort always. And I think she needs to be.
Yeah, and you may very well be right. She may very well need to be, accompanied to the ring by, that's her role in this. And we've thought that about plenty of people in the past. And you never know, maybe she has her breakout moment. But again, it's one of those things where there are levels to it, and you see it clearly there.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And so we get a clean victory from Stephanie McGuinness and Julia. And then we get Fallon Henley spinning the wheel for her North American title match. And Zarya debuts as she's spinning the wheel. And it's very scary.
The name for me, as soon as I saw the name, I was like, Overwatch is there. It can't be anything other than Overwatch to me. And I was not listen, okay, anybody who's played that game, I was absolute trash garbage at it. So don't be like, oh, I sucked at every character, but I especially sucked at Zarya.
Perfect. I don't have time to play video games anymore, unfortunately, because
we're going back years at that point for this. But
so all around, listen. This was not a bad NXT, especially for a going home episode. They did what they needed to do. They furthered the storylines the right way. I think everything worked. Everything hit the buttons it was supposed to hit. It's a go home show, which means it's a little bit on the less intense side.
It's a safer show.
Yeah, it's always a safer show because they want to make sure that their people are okay for their PLE. And that
not
makes
quite a B plus. Not quite a B plus. Like if a B plus is 86, this is an 84.2.
Yeah, like this is a solid B program.
Yeah.
And again, that's not saying that this was bad.
No, it's not bad.
It's what it was supposed to be, and it did everything it was supposed to. Yep. So let's move across the street. We're gonna go to AEW Dynamite. Why did we both do it?
It's because we're both friggin' idiots and we've known each other for more than half our lives.
Dumb.
And the best part is that the people who aren't watching this in video format are like, what the hell are these two friggin' goddamn morons
doing? What are they talking about?
You wish you knew. And that right there, folks who are listening, Steve gave me the look and the nod. You can't hear the look and the nod through the speakers.
Oh my god. This is why I actually load up the video onto Spotify now. Like I actually load up the video on the listening applications now as well. Just so everyone knows. Oh